the man taken second overall in the 2017 NBA draft. The guy who the best point guard ever and Magic Johnson proclaimed as the new face of the Lakers and hoped to have a retired jersey one day. The guy taking over Tatum, De'Aaron Fox, Lauri Markkanen, Dennis Smith Jr., Donovan Mitchell, and some others. The guy the Lakers felt could do more for them than D'Angelo Russell has now been in the league for 3 years with little to show for it besides solid point guard stats and injury proneness. It's tough. And there's more I could mention with some positives and negatives, but just off what I've already said, whether you really like Lonzo and the Ball family or not, anyone with an objective perspective should be able to agree that Lonzo Ball's career thus far has been a disappointment. And this is not to say he's a bust. I already know the thumbnail already got some of y'all just so mad. But I will say, if he doesn't significantly improve in the near future, the label of being a bust likely won't be as controversial as it currently is when discussing Lonzo as a player, because time is running out. That's not even hating. It is just telling the truth. There's a difference. And in this video, I will explain why, along with how much Lamelo Ball's soon-to-be rookie season play has to do with it. But before I go further, man, what's good YouTube? Plug Speaks back with the vid. If you're new, subscribe if you're a Lonzo supporter. Sub up. I'm posting quality basketball content 2 to 3 times a week, and we're trying to hit 1K within a month. Back to the vid though. So first things first, just so we all on the same page, let me tell y'all what my definition of a bust really is. You may agree, you may not, it just is what it is. My opinion doesn't hold more weight than yours, it's just my opinion. Anyway, my definition of an NBA bust is a player that does not live up to their expectations upon being drafted at all, like they fall really short of it. Because if a player like Zion, who people expect to become a superstar one day, simply becomes a borderline all-star, it'll be a disappointment, but he will not be a bust to me because he didn't fall that short of his expectations. While Lonzo, on the other hand, is getting close to this bust label for me because even after his best season yet, he's playing like an average starting NBA point guard with just elite passing ability and defense, when we all know his expectations by many were not necessarily to be the face of the Lakers like Magic said, but definitely to be an all-star player, which he is still pretty far from as of right now. And I see this as a pretty fair bust assessment because if you think this is harsh, then take a look at Andrew Wiggins, who several fans say is a bust. This video isn't about him, but I'll bring him up to prove a quick point. Look, this is a guy that has had multiple seasons averaging 20 points per game, has a career high of 47 points, and a single playoff appearance while still fairly young at 25. But he still gets called a bust because he was the #1 pick, who many spoke highly of, including the late great Kobe Bryant, who verbatim said that it's like looking at a reflection of himself 19 years ago when discussing Wiggins back in 2014. And after Jimmy Butler came through Minnesota and revealed the lack of work ethic Andrew Wiggins and others had, any benefit of the doubt you could offer Wiggins was completely gone even after his solid averages. Hence why I base the bust label mostly upon expectations. But moving on, before I go in on the need for improvement in Lonzo, I will not sit here and pretend the guy is a bad player or as if things are easy, because he's definitely faced a lot in his career that just goes to highlight his mental toughness, from his first game ever where Patrick Beverley got an ego boost off just abusing him defensively, to the target he's had on his back from LeVar's comments prior to him being drafted, to the expectations to actually win something after LeBron came to LA, to the reoccurring injury, to being traded to New Orleans somewhat unexpectedly, to the illness of his mother obviously causing him to focus on things that are bigger than basketball. It's a lot, and it's definitely not easy being Lonzo, but everything I just mentioned, besides the illness of course, just usually comes with being an athlete at the pro level, especially when you're a player taken high in the draft. But moving on, in this most recent season where he played 63 games, he averaged about 11.8 points per game, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds on 40% shooting from the field and 37% shooting from 3. Which, yes, I will give him his credit. He improved his 3-point shot massively, but it's still all pretty odd because his 3-point stroke is coming together, but his field goal percentage remains entirely too low and inconsistent for a starting guard with all-star expectations. Moreover, his free throw percentage of 56% is very poor, and the fact that he shoots just 1 a game just makes everything worse because it shows his lack of aggression offensively. Not to mention, the stats I just read off are what he produces in an average of 32 minutes a game, which is not impressive at all. Look, I won't pretend Lonzo does nothing good. We know his passes are elite, probably a top 5 passer in the NBA right now. We know his defense is impressive as a point guard, but when you're missing free throws badly and being visibly hesitant to shoot the ball, it's just hard to focus on the positives, especially when the team isn't doing well either. Also, yes, I am aware he's just about to enter his 4th season and will likely improve, and even believe he will improve. I hope he improves. But like I said, time is running out while his expectations upon draft night are not going anywhere. The lack of consistency in his play is just something he will have to get rid of. He was red hot prior to the season ending off the COVID outbreak, as in the month of March, he averaged about 21 points per game, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds on 53% shooting from the field and 51% shooting from 3 in 6 games. Now, it's a very small sample size, I know, but those are all-star numbers which would make everyone just shut up and give the guy his credit. But in the NBA bubble, the man averaged a very disappointing 7 points per game, 6.5 assists, and 5 rebounds on 30% shooting from the field and 28% shooting from 3 over 7 games. Like, what is that? Come on now. Even the biggest Lonzo fans of all should understand what I'm getting. But enough of how close Lonzo is to being deemed a bust, because more than likely your stance on it is not going to change due to an 8-minute YouTube video. So now I want to explain to y'all why he needs to become an elite guard or just break out to a level close to it by the end of the next season. Now, you all saw Lamelo Ball in the background of the thumbnail, and I briefly mentioned his name earlier. And this is because, as we all know, he will be on an NBA team by the time the next season starts, after going at least top 3 in the NBA draft this year. And I do not know about y'all, but I am of the belief that no matter the team he goes to, if LaMelo is given the same minutes or even comparable minutes to what Lonzo was given as a rookie, which was 34.7, then he will have better numbers than what his brother did. As far as why, I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's not the point of this video, but just the better preparation before the draft, the better competition overseas, along with his lack of hesitance when it comes to shooting the ball. But anyway, this entire part of the video is mostly opinionated. However, in this hypothetical instance where LaMelo is given solid minutes and performs at a high level for a rookie point guard, there is no doubt in my mind that the patience fans have for a developing Lonzo will be gone. Let's all just be completely 100% honest. If Lamelo Ball comes out next season and just performs better than 10.2 points per game, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds on 36% shooting from the field, which are Lonzo's rookie stats, even the biggest Lonzo fans' patience will begin to run low if it hasn't already, because you will question why or how, why, and how LaMelo is already doing better than Lonzo as an NBA player, and no matter how you slice it, the answer to the question will be the same every single time, which is that LaMelo is the better player and Lonzo is not living up to his expectations. And trust and believe the impact would be big across the league. Team management would see less value in Lonzo, Ball family fans would switch up and direct all their support to LaMelo, and also best believe social media would just be wild, because of course NBA social media jokes don't mean anything at the end of the day, but they can be pretty brutal with this kind of stuff. So Lonzo should, and I hope he does, turn up next year, because unless you are a hating individual, it's never fun to see someone fall short of what you believe they have the capabilities of amounting to. I mean, this guy's defense, assists, and even rebounds are all there, but the offense and confidence is just fairly absent, and it will just have to change. But Lonzo did have this to say after Bleacher Report posted his awful bubble stats with 1 game left in the regular season bubble game, so he is clearly on a mission. But that's it from me, man. I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to like this sub if new, share, all of that, and I'm out.